It looks like we are going live now.
Yes, we are. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing.
1, 2, 3. Are we recording as well?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Got it.
Let's see what's going on. I wonder if I can catch us.
Yes, we are. We are live. And it's really 5 people that's joined us. 5 people who are on time.
Oh, hello. Well done. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. My name is Chengi. I'm your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. And we have on the left, bear with me,
right?
Coach Unique on the right.
Recording as well.
We got Coach Unique, and she is going to be with me today because she is, again, another flirt expert. Because right here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, we know how to flirt, do we not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we. So Unique is our
flirt today.
We're going to be doing flirt class. I think we should call it the flirt class, but
I think so
because we've already got the flirt and date masterclass. So obviously we're not going to cover everything in the flirt and date masterclass, but we'll try and get as much in your hands as possible because we want you winning. It's springtime. Yeah. It's time to spread your butterflies. Yeah. Spread your butterfly. I've actually hijacked Coach Unique's video. Forgive me, I'm still battling.
That's okay.
I know I will win. This was her video title, and I was like, look, it's a live today, and I don't have any titles, so we're using yours because at least the thumbnails are
good title. It's a good title.
It's a good title. So I know she's got tons and tons to share. And excited. We're really excited to share this with you because I personally just want to put a stop to, well, the nonsense. Okay. I think so much confusion, and we're going to go into it. So let's see who's here. We're not going to wait because we know people are going to watch the replay, and we know that everybody's excited about this particular topic. I had I was asked to write an article about shooting one shot. And I don't know if it's coming out, if it ever is going to come out, because I know that the Black Swan way is not the most popular way. It's not the most super liberal way, but it is the wisest way. It is the most feminine way. And it's what gets the job done. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Okay. So if you know that you only date high value, high status, high worth men who are self-loving, and know how to cherish you, take care of you. If those are the types of men that you want to date, then clearly you want to come from the feminine energy. And so I know what precipitated this particular video for Coach Unique was something that you saw on TikTok, something that was going quite viral. So do you want to share that with us while I have a step?
Yes. So basically there is she's an influencer. She's known for TikTok, and she normally interviews really famous men who are doing really well in their lives, like how are their relationships going. So in that conversation, she asked the guy, would you like, does your girlfriend's income matter, or does your wife's income matter? And he straight up said, being masculine, he straight up said, no, that doesn't matter. Yeah, it adds to the home, but it doesn't matter. And then she said, do you feel the connection? And giggled. And he's like, what? And 12 months later, or 2 years later, they were married. They're now a couple. I can't remember her name, honestly, to save my life, but I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description box. But it was, I mean, if you join the Black Swan Relationship Academy app, it's on there. We've put it on there. So we've been discussing that. So basically, a year later, she's been already married, but the clip resurfaced because they were celebrating their anniversary. The clip resurfaced, and the thread was saying that she made the first move. And I was like, there's a difference between making the first move and signaling. She didn't actually make a first, she just suggested, like, can you not see what is going on here? And she smiled suggestively. And it was up to him to then ask her out, to then, date her, to then court her. And it's so funny because just before this the conversation, I had not an argument as such with a male friend, and I was saying, like, women always make the first move. It's just that we don't. It's not a first move as in an actual move. We influence the first move. will always happen before the first move. For someone to actually go ahead and ask the woman out, there has to be a signaling of some kind, like, come hither, or a handkerchief dropping, or so there's all of that we'll kind of talk about today. But that is where this all started. That's where it all sparked, the whole conversation.
Brilliant. Absolutely. I love that. And I remember you sending that. And there's so much confusion with that. Now, I knew there were some guys in the comments of that saying, yeah, I see women can make the first move, blah, blah, blah. So we want to talk about that, where that comes from, where these men are coming from. Okay. So number one, like Coach Unique said, women have been making the first moves from time in the day. And even in the animal kingdom, we always, they send out certain hormones, certain pheromones, like a dog is on heat or whatever. We have always, and we're naturally the ones that actually create the atmosphere in the dating and relationship space. We are actually the atmosphere. We're the temperature. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have always actually had power. It's just that with all of the kind of need for equality, we surrendered a lot of our power. And this is a lot of the conversations we have here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, that we got a certain type of power and control, but we also forfeited a lot of power that comes with biology, with nature. So women have always been ultimately the selectors. They've always selected the strongest, most capable mates. It's the same in any animal kingdom. The females will always gravitate to the strongest, most powerful mate. And they all do the same thing. They signal the man that they want. Okay. You will always see the lions fighting each other for the woman, but you'll never see the woman fighting other women, other lionesses for the lion. Okay. So, because we genuinely are the ones that show up. So this is something that we need to clear up. So when you get men saying, women should make the first move, that's coming from two places.
Yeah.
The first place that is coming from is feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's call a spade, not an agricultural instrument. One preacher said, let's call it what it is. So, feminine energy in men, as the roles have, and the men's testosterone is actually lowered a great deal. Testosterone gives the men that courage, that conquering, that go-getter energy. It is considerably lowered, I think, to probably a third of what it used to be. So feminine energy is sort of changing the physiology almost of men, that they're becoming more feminine, they're becoming more passive. That has a lot to do with a lot of what we have created too. We've participated in that because we've made it wrong for them to approach. We've called it sexual harassment. We have done all kinds of things. And I get it. I was in Jamaica the other day, and it was really interesting because those cultures, feminism hasn't hit hard. Okay.
No.
So, you just get you just have to step out and you meet. And it reminded me of growing up in Africa, where that was the way you just step out your house, and men on trucks and on the road, the garden, everybody would just go wild. So I felt that sense of harassment, and I was like, oh, this is probably what feminism was trying to make sure women feel safe, because you just step out and it's like whoosh, right? And it's like, can I just get from point A to point B without, somebody coming on to me? So I get what the desire of the feminists really was. But of course, like all things, we go to extremes. So men are now scared. They don't want to be accused of sexual harassment. They also don't want to be humiliated. Rejection is not nice for girls. It's not nice for men. End of story. So men are kind of doing, look, we want to be the passive participants in this whole thing. Why don't you ladies take the emotional risk and still make us the emotional gatekeeper? Okay.
Yeah.
Because we want to be the emotional gatekeepers, but you have to take the emotional risk. But it doesn't work that way. The emotional gatekeeper takes the emotional risk. The sexual gatekeeper always takes the sexual risk. So when we're being sexual with men, we're having sexuals.
Yes.
And we're actually taking the sexual risk. We're risking pregnancy. And that is the biggest risk, because we get to carry that baby for 9 months, and we have to nurture that baby, and that takes over our lives. So whenever we're, that's why we are the sexual gatekeepers, because we take the sexual risk. Men are the emotional gatekeepers, so they must take the emotional risk. Okay. So a lot of men don't understand this. And I've heard a lot of kind of nonsense online saying men are, I'm not going to call it nonsense, but misconceptions. The men are in charge of the relationship. Men are not in charge of the relationship. Men are in charge of the emotional dimension of the relationship. Women are in charge of the sexual element of the relationship.
Yes.
Both people are in charge of relationship. But what these people are indicating is men are escalators. They're the ones that, so the emotional part is the commitment part, is the consistency part, is the courting part, is the escalation part. That's their domain. Okay. Same thing with us. We escalate sexually. We allow whether the escalation can happen sexually or not. We, we're the ones that set the rules around sex. They set the rules around progression and commitment. Okay. But that doesn't put them in charge of relationship, because I've heard it before. Men are in charge of relationship and women are in charge of sex. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. So anyway, I digress. Where was I going? So it's really feminine men who really love it when a woman does the overt walk across the room, says hi, does the work. Now, before I talk my way through this whole hour, Coach Unique, why is it wrong? Why shouldn't we walk across the room and start a whole kind of conversation first and foremost? Then we're going to talk about the difference between walking across the room and actually the power of signaling. But why do you think that's the wrong thing to do for a feminine woman?
Firstly, again, like I said, if there are women out there who want to do it, it's okay. No one's coming for you. You can do it. It's just, you have to kind of take into consideration what you're setting up.
The dynamic,
the dynamics you're setting up. What are you trying to say to this man? Because we always say, start how you mean to finish. If you're going to be the masculine at the beginning and approach, be prepared to do that throughout the relationship. Be prepared to have the children and still go to work. Be prepared to ask him out on dates. Be prepared to go the whole 9 yards, right?
Yes.
It's just that sometimes we feel as women like making the first move makes us, we're empowered. Yes, you're empowered. You are, what's this? You make the guy notice you. But the problem with that is, it's like in the wild. If an antelope had to go around looking for the lion in the den, like, here I am, how you doing? Hey, lion, how you doing? You're gonna get devoured. It's like this prey walking up to an animal. And you have to think of it in the most animalistic terms. As much as we've evolved, unfortunately, they call it the reptilian brain, our evolution as human beings, we are still animalistic in nature.
Yes.
We still need to signal. We still need to, it will take generations and hundreds of years for us to get to a point where we are actually thinking we're equal, where we are actually, where all of these things that we're trying to do now will work. But by nature, by design, we, as women, if you are looking for a masculine man, it is not advisable to walk across the room and introduce yourself and approach. Rather, like Chengi was saying, we're going to talk about the signaling part. The other thing about walking across is a woman is at her most powerful when she's in her feminine.
Yes.
By you making that first move, you are coming out of your natural place and your natural position to then be something in a space that is not appreciated. You can do that at work. That's appreciated work. We need masculine women at work. We need your masculine side at work. We need goals. We need things to be achieved. But when you now take charge of that in a relationship, when you step out of that, it then becomes a misplaced masculinity. Because if you are approaching a man and you want to approach a masculine man, it will turn him off. If antelopes are approaching, it turns the hunter off. It literally actually does. If you notice, like all the lions that are in the zoos who are fed and meat is thrown at them, they're quite tame. And who wants to have a tame man? Who wants to have a man that is, it's literally, you are taking away the ability for them to hunt. You are taking away, and with that goes their natural instinct to be the provider, the natural instinct to cherish, the natural instinct to provide a safe space for you, because now you're literally almost reverting them back to being with their mom, because their mom provided that. And if a man is accepting of that, that also tells you he's a feminine man, because he's also reverting to that state where his mom was looking after him, because his mom had that role. And again, there's a lot of like branches we could go into, but
I mean, it's really good, because I think people, ladies watching this, we have the time, because that's why we're doing live, need to understand why, because I think it's become a political issue. But there's so many aspects. So I'm really glad you're saying that. This is about, number one, in terms of just the science which you mentioned was, you know, the egg sits and the sperm moves. Whenever everyone can do what they want to do. That's the beauty of living in the 21st century. Like, do you, boo? Okay. But if you want the kind of results, so I just want to amplify some of what you said. If the egg naturally sits and the sperm is the one that puts the effort to swim, to locate, to do all of these things, then that means that the nature of the feminine is to be seated.
Yeah.
It's passive. And when you take challenge away from a masculine energy man, you, like you said, you take the hunt out of him. So, and you take the attraction. Because remember, men are attracted to challenge. Yeah. Masculine men love a challenge. It's actually in the challenge itself, not the acquisition per se. When a man ends up with that girl, other men are thinking, boy, what did he have to be or do to get that girl? He must be rich. Like, he must be like confident. They admire what he had to do to get there. Who must this guy be? That's what gives status. The fact that you're attractive is another bonus, or that you are great is another bonus, but to get her. So actually, masculine men are terribly drawn to inaccessibility, to the sense that I have to climb a mountain, I have to do this. Now, don't get me wrong. If you throw yourself, if you're an attractive woman and you go across the room and you throw yourself.
Present yourself.
Most men will be flattered, including the masculine energy man. He'll be flattered. He might even probably entertain it. And like Coach Nick said, he will devour it, right? You will not, he will make the best use of you, because men interpret that move as a sexual move.
Yeah.
Because when a man is crossing the room to you, he is making a sexual move. He's making a sexual advancement. No, honey, he doesn't want to know your personality. That is not his first. He knows
you're pretty. You see something pretty.
Exactly. He's crossing the room because he's thinking, my body wants to be inside her body, and I will take the risk. He is not thinking about your personality. He's not thinking about how lovely you are. Now he understands that to get into your knickers, you might have to, do the personality thing. So when men cross the room to get to the other side to the woman, we're using crossing the room as a kind of symbol. We're going to talk about signaling in ways where you might have to cross the room, but what do you do when you cross the room? Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we're using the crossing the room as in that overt action towards, coming towards somebody. When they're doing that, they're seeking they're trying to secure this sexual stability. Okay, they're trying to secure this sexual supply. So when you do that, how a man interprets that is not, oh, she must like my smile and she might like to get to know me better. He's not thinking, oh, this woman really just wants to get to know me better. Because that's what we think. We're thinking, oh, he wants to get to know me better and wants to know what I'm interested in. And because we're women and we're looking at the whole thing thinking, if I move to him, he's going to think like a woman. He's going to think she's trying to get, no, baby. The moment you move to him, what you're doing is taking your privates, putting them on a platter and going, do you want some?
Here you go.
It's like, here, take my body and use it for whatever you will. And that, so a lot of women, when they get into these relationships, they also create the dynamic that Coach Unique was saying, where he is not courting you, he's not making an effort, because you set the dynamic that I want you so much. I am the masculine in this relationship. Therefore, I will date you. I will win you. I will prove to you. I will court you. I will charm you. And you've put this man in his feminine. Now, if you put a masculine man in his feminine, he's totally going to lose attraction, and then he's going to ghost you the day after, or that night. He's just going to sleep with you and run, because he doesn't want to be made the feminine, because that's just can't work for him. A feminine man might come back for more, but he is actually signed up to you being the one that does everything. So these women end up getting married. They look after the kids. They pay the bills. They, take care of him. They mother him. And he just is this passive person. And they come to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. They're like, you know what? My husband takes me for granted. He never does anything that, he doesn't do anything for me. I'm exhausted. Or a woman is like, I've been dating this guy for a few months and he never buys me flowers. He never takes me anywhere. He never treats me nicely. And I always ask, tell me how you guys met.
Yeah.
Who made the first move? I'm always going to go to the genesis of that relationship. And 99.9% of the time, she made the first move. She stepped to him. She did the aggression. And she set the dynamic. Now, what happens is you can try and change a dynamic. You've got every right to change a dynamic. But if a man is feminine, he agreed to the whole situation because that's what he wants. He wants you to date him. He wants you to court him. He wants you to charm him. That's why he was so receptive. Now, some of us will look and think, oh, but he's got muscles and he's a real man and he talks like a man. He's got a big penis. Doesn't change his energy. So a lot of women are now stuck in these dynamics because this is what girls think. I'll make the first move. I'll set up the dynamic and then I'm going to lean back and let him take over. She leans back. He leans back. Everybody be leaning back. Right?
Sign up for that.
Yeah. And then she's like, if I don't set a date, if I don't make plans, he won't make plans. If I don't call him.
That's the question we get in the end, isn't it? We always get, okay, what do I have to do to make him? What do I have to do? And because all it is spin performance from the very beginning. And we want you to get into relationships where there is no performance and everybody just does themselves. And in you doing yourself is understanding the nature of who you are. And that's why we always say, know what you want in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if you're out here making first moves, it's always going to turn out a certain way. You'll get to a point where you're always asking, okay, what do I have to do to make him buy me flowers? What do I have to do to make him open doors? And like Chengi says, goes back to the beginning. How did this thing even start in the first place? And if it started that way, that is how it's going to go. So I guess I guess this is where we're going to about, okay, then how do I avoid making that first move? And how do I actually signal him rather than actually walking?
Yes, absolutely. There's a question here. What are some of the things women should take into consideration before they decide to shoot their shot? I think we've covered that. So So you want to shoot your shot. I'm okay with the phrase shoot your shot if we understand what that looks like for the feminine. Okay.
Yes.
So we should all shoot our shot. I think we should all walk into the room. We should choose our prey, if you like. We should choose our lion. We should choose our king. Yeah. A woman should walk into the room.
Choose our target.
And select about 5 guys that she would like to get to know. Okay. Now, it can be a bit tricky in a real life situation because most men, if they see you talking to every guy at the party and you're just too flirtatious with one, it can put some men off. So it's really important that you're very classy. Personally, choose the one you want. Like, just choose the one. Usually a room doesn't have 10 guys that you want.
No.
It usually has one.
That would be a very beautiful room.
No. That would be a very, very beautiful room. Now, whether you choose on looks or whether you choose on personality, until we establish some kind of chemistry, some draw, some energy with somebody, you know. So for me, the first thing is to walk into the room with intentionality. You know, I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to enjoy my friend's birthday. I'm here to do whatever your social setting. I'm here to enjoy the golf tournament. I'm here to enjoy the tennis match. I'm here to enjoy whatever the races. That's what I'm here to do. Or, you know, I don't know about shopping in a club. I mean, I'm sorry, ladies, it's not, you know,
Depends on
I'm
the
sure it
club.
works in a club as
Depends
well.
on a club.
Sorry?
Depends on a club. Maybe
Depends
shopping
on
in
the
a
club. If it's a
lounge
private
or
members
private members
club,
club.
yeah, if it's a private members club or whatever, you know, girls like us, we hang in classy places. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I wouldn't go to a club for a bit of fun with friends on a holiday or something like that, but it's just not my present hangout.
Yeah.
So let's say it's a private member, wherever you're in a room and it's social. Okay, we're not going to judge because we can be a bit snobby, can't we? So you're in a room, and this is really important when we're talking about clubs, because the first thing that always works, scientifically works, is a massive signal. But first and foremost, let's understand. I'll let Coach Uni give you the first signal, but I want you to understand something. Because masculine men choose with their eyes. I hate to say this, but their eyes are the decision makers. Okay, so we need to first present. The Black Swan presents, then signals. Present, signal. Present, signal. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to love this because, well, why should I have to present? Am I a show horse? I've heard all kind of things, but if this offends you, we're not a Black Swan, please go and spend time with the ducks up the lake. But this conversation is for the Black Swan. I mean, I have to be honest, I can't speak to everybody.
I just sipped my tea.
Black swans.
No, but the thing is, look, you have to be honest. You have to, because look, you're fighting a losing game if you don't want to hear the honesty. If you don't want to hear the part, like, look, there's sometimes we can state facts as much as we like, but if you're not receiving of them, you're not going to win. If you want to run a race with Usain Bolt, you're going to have to train. You're going to have to look at his time. You're going to have to literally train as much as he trains, if not more, and be the first one on the track. So if you want to win in this heterosexual dating game, there are certain things that you just need to know. Unfortunately, as we said in the last live, we don't have those tools being passed down to us. If you look at the Cuban community, there was this thing, like this is where the whole thing drop the hanky came from, where if there was a guy that you liked, you'd carry a hanky, just casually drop a hanky in front of him and he'd pick it up, therefore give it to you, and then that starts a conversation. So that is what we're talking about. Those are the first things you do. So presenting is the first thing that you do. You're presenting him with the opportunity to come and speak to this amazing, gorgeous woman, to come and explore possibilities of what could be, to come and see about this girl, to come and see what is this thing that just walked in front of me. Who is this bone of my bone? Who is this fine gal? Fine. What is going on here? You're presenting him with the opportunity, right? If you want to look at it that way, to present with an opportunity. And that is where the signaling starts. That's
where the signaling starts. Yeah. And I just want to reverse back, because Coach Unique is like a horse trying to get out of this. You know, because Coach Unique is like a Mama Swan. She knows how to signal a man. Come on now. I mean, if I'm not into you, I know how to not signal you. Like, I know how to not make this thing happen. But if I like you, there shall be no confusion.
You shall be signaled. Unashamedly.
That will signal away. Okay, so let's stop with the giggling. Well, I know we all like a bit of a giggle. So basically, presenting is really about looking good. Sorry. I mean, I wish I could I don't wish anything. Look, it's about looking good. Okay, you got to look good. Now, when we say look good, here's what we think. Oh, I've got to be slim. I've got to have a small belly. I've got to be fair skin. I've got to be dark skin. I've got to have long hair. I've got to wear makeup. I've got, right. And then we think, but I don't want to do all those things and I'll never lose weight and I'll never. Okay, stop your nonsense right now. We're not doing that. It's about looking your very best self, because I want us to think of ourselves as a brand.
Yes.
If you're a brand, branding is there so that we attract our real customers. So I said to you earlier, I only speak to black swans. I only speak to high value, high status, high worth women, period. Right? If you're not that, you're going to be offended. But if you are a high value, high status, high worth woman, it's going to be like, yes, tick, 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 tell me more. Okay. So my brand, our brand, I beg your pardon, is actually designed for high quality, high status, high worth women. Okay. So we only speak to them. You are the ones that follow us. You are the ones that use our services. You are the ones that, so it's the same thing. If you are a brand, then your customers are a specific kind of man. Okay. If you're a big girl, there's a market for that. If you are a dark-skinned girl, there's a market for that. If you're a fair-skinned girl, there's a market for that. If you're a long-hair girl, there's a market for that. If you're a natural fro girl, there's a market for that. Okay. Everybody has their market. Just make sure that you're speaking to that niche or that market profoundly. So I had to go mute so I wouldn't blow you.
I'm here.
Yes, she's here. So you want to be clear about your brand. What we find in the Black Swan Leadership Academy is you get the natural girl, but she's not saying anything with the natural. It's just natural. Like, could it be big natural? Could it be glossy natural? Could it be, I mean, there's a vibe to natural, vibe that thing, like amplify that thing. Like, let's see it. Let's see what you're doing. Your outfit, your clothing must speak to your brand, because there are men out here who like that nice natural hair, who like the no makeup look, but is your skin in great shape? Like, do you have good, smooth, beautiful skin? You know, are your fro curls curling? Or do they just look like you're gonna be bothered to comb your hair? If you've got locks, are they locksing? Are they like neat? Are they tidy? Are they like styled?
Maintained.
Right? Are you looking like your brand, or are you looking like, well, I woke up, I'm here, I came to the party. A lot of women just want to get out. They just want to leave the house. They just want to go. Right? I'm going to the gym. They look like something the cat dragged out. Right? You're going to shopping. You're going to the supermarket. All the places where you're likely to meet a man, and you look like the top doesn't match. I mean, I go to the gym sometimes and I look at these women and I think, what are you doing? You go and get a matching piece that suits your body shape. You can look cute. I don't wear makeup to the gym, but I make sure my curls be curling, and I make sure that my skin is glowing, and I make sure that my smile is shiny, and I've got a nice lip balm on, and I'm looking nice in the gym, baby. Okay. And by the way,
that's what you're presenting.
That's where I'm presenting. So obviously, it's not about looking like you're about to walk onto a catwalk every time. If you are going out, take that extra time to do your hair and makeup. Take the extra time. There is nothing to be had from being lazy as a woman, because the dividends on that is so high. You want to be the woman that, I beg your pardon, walks into the room, and at least like half of the men there want to get a chance to be on your dance card, right? At least half of them are like, how do I get on that girl's dance card? How do I get to speak to her? How do you want that?
I have to explain the dance card.
Okay, so the dance card is, in olden days, we're going to call it that. A woman would go to a dance, they'd be invited to a dance. We've watched Bridgerton, you go to a dance and you would walk in, and the most beautiful girl in the room, or the most, desirable lady in the room, the men would say, do you think you could save a dance for me later? And then she would take out her card and she would write his name for, you were, number 4. And as they danced, that's how he would charm her, and they'd have a little bit of a conversation, and that's how they would flirt. And she would kind of have a quick it was a bit like what do you call it?
Speed dating.
Speed dating. It was a bit
Yeah.
like speed dating. It was culturally acceptable. They could do a dance and get to know each other for that song or for that bit of the music, and he could show her his prowess and show how wonderful he was as a dancer and all these things. So in many ways, albeit we don't have dance cards, when you do walk in, there is a proverbial dance card. There are men who are doing, how do I get to her, right? So you want to be conscious. You want to walk in and think, now this is really key. Choose from the men that are looking at you.
Yeah.
Okay. When you walk into the room, scan who is looking at me. When you walk into the train, who is looking at me? When you walk into the gym, who is looking at me? Because those are your options. Okay, baby?
I'll actually rewind that a little bit as well. It's the idea of actually looking to see who's looking at me. And presentation also is part of you developing your confidence. Be okay with looking to see who's looking at you. Be okay with actually walking in the train and looking at people. I know here in London, walking the train, the first thing you do is look down. Where am I going to sit? Okay. I think if anything, that's the first practice. I remember when we first started the Flirt and Date Challenge, when I was still a rookie, when I just joined Black Swan. And I remember you saying, challenge is to actually look at men in the train. If you spot someone who's looking at you, look, hold eye contact. And I think I remember the first time I ever did that, ended up going for drinks, like literally from the tube station. We're going to St. Pancras and he was going off to Paris and I was going home. He helped me with my bag just from eye contact. And it's like, oh, I've got a few minutes. Would you mind if I grab a drink? So it's little things like that. And I didn't have to say a word. All he had to do was then be the one who approaches, because that is part of the signaling. But I know we're talking to a lot of shy girls, a lot of shy women who are not even taught how to look at anyone's eyes. Culturally speaking, whether you're an introvert or not, it's one thing that we have to overcome, especially if you want to meet someone, if you want a life partner, if you want a heterosexual male, masculine partner, is you're going to have to learn to develop that confidence to actually look at people in the eye.
And you know what? On that note, on that really good note, shy girls, okay. Now, when we walk into the room, I'm going to rewind a little bit because I know you want to give the signals, and I'm going to let you go. You've already given a few.
Rewind.
You've actually given a few. So if you haven't caught the
rewind.
signals that Coach Unique is giving you, rewind this replay, but she'll say them again, okay? But when it comes to one of the mistakes that we make when shooting our shot is we shoot our shot with men whose eyes haven't chosen us.
Yeah.
And that is going to be problematic because you're going to face rejection. And remember, we're not built for rejection like that. Okay. We're built to be cherished, not rejected. So a lot of women make the mistake of walking in and saying, oh, I like him. But he liking you, because here's what men do. I want to teach you the mating rituals, the natural, intuitive, primal mating rituals of humans. Okay. If you want more detail, go and get the Flirt and Date masterclass, because we go into all of those things.
Yeah.
Now, men, when their eyes like what they see, they look at it. Their eyes can't move from it. They can't help it. If you're okay, they're like, so as you are scanning, you will see who's seeing you. Okay. This is really important because that's how you select your 5 or your 4 or your 3 or your 2. Right. And those are going to be your focus. If the ones looking at you are not your type, just put your sunglasses on. Okay. Or look away and be shy or as much as you want.
Yeah.
But if you know that you walked in and certain eyes, there will be eyes that will look at you and say, oh, she's here. Then there'll be eyes that will keep looking at you. Every time you see them, they keep looking at you. That's how we win. Okay. That's you presenting. If the presentation is on point, the signaling is super easy. Even as a shy girl, I'm shy. Believe it or not, I am ridiculous.
We're all quite, ridiculously shy. You'd be surprised,
so
right?
When it comes to men, I'm just so shy. But because I know what I'm doing, I always present really, really well. I walk into the room really put together. And because I get my confidence from feeling good, right? Because the feminine woman has to feel good to do good. So if you're feeling good, you're gonna be confident. You're gonna have that. You're gonna walk with your shoulders back. You gotta walk into the room like you own it. But if you know you've taken that time to put yourself together and you're smelling nice and your hair is nice and your makeup is nice and your nails are nice and you're just nice. Okay. And you're feeling yourself. Doesn't matter what size you are, what age you are. As long as you're feeling yourself, that energy translates as confidence to men. It's like a feminine, sexy confidence. This presentation piece is so important because it takes 80% of the work out. Okay. It just means you have to do less in the way of signaling. You don't have to do too much because their eyes have already like looked at you. Okay. And obviously if you want more on that, that's what Coach Unique is here to do in terms of your styling. If you're wearing the colors that work for you, if you're wearing the styles that work for you, that instantly is going to up your presentation. So definitely book a styling session with Coach Unique, because you need to know all of these things are quite simple if you know what you're doing. Okay. So that presenting piece. So if you are shy, okay, that covers 80% of it, because chances are all the men, they're ready, they're poised, they're like on your marks. They're just waiting for you
to just need to just go.
To say go. Right? And go is as simple as
oh.
That's it. Let's go, baby. Okay. We be listen, if that man is masculine, he doesn't need you to look. He's waiting for the signal. He is waiting. Like he is this away from a signal. Okay. So that is what Coach Nick's saying. Eye contact. You don't have to, if you are one of these women that's like confident and you want to eyeball the man, 5 seconds is good. But make sure that you're looking him in the eye. But here's the key about shy girls. Shy girls signal virtue. Yeah. Because by being shy, you're letting him know that I don't do this often. I'm a bit comfortable. And that's cute. Because now he feels like, I'm going to be the man. I'm going to get that deer or that antelope. I want to take it. Right? So even if you're shy, it can totally work in your favor. If you're not shy, it can work in your favor as well. Yeah. But that just means you don't have a lot of things to overcome. You just look, you signal Big Daddy, and he comes over. Okay. So what did you want to add to that? Or did you want to show us your flirt face?
I just did.
Okay, do it again. Can you come closer to the camera and show the ladies? I mean, Coach Unique's one is very subtle, very good. Let's go.
Very subtle. But again, it's about eye contact. So most of the time, it's not even like, it's more like,
thank you for the lesson. Exactly. Now, if it's really dumb, like not dumb, but let's say for instance, he is unsure, and because if you're truly well presented and you're really high status when you walk into a room, some men they start feeling insecure about their ability, right? So sometimes you kind of have to go a little bit further. So you can do something.
Actually, before even that, there's also positioning, which helps you signal better.
Tell us about that.
It's about knowing where to place yourself in a room, where to place yourself opposite the guy. So you can actually be face to face to be able to look at him. When you go into a bar, don't stand around the bathrooms too far away from anyone to see you. When you're in a bar, stay in a place that is well lit, close enough to traffic, but not obstructing traffic. Like if people are walking down a lot. And there's so many ways to signal without saying that whole thing of, and if he's not getting the clue, there is still a way to signal without even saying a word. There's still a way to allow him to walk over. And which I was saying, we'd forgotten the piece about the positioning, is know where to position yourself. And also be comfortable as well.
And positioning is also a form of escalation for the woman. Okay.
Yeah.
So number one, thank you for bringing that, because I probably would have forgotten, but because we're just vibing tonight.
I know.
So nice. We love all this because we're dangerous. Okay. So if he's standing over there and you've been giving him the eye contact and giving him the whole smile, look at him, smile. Okay. Because that's the most powerful signals. Eye contact is the number one primal sexual attraction thing. So it says, I am interested in you sexually, not as a friend. Like, come over here. Okay. But you want to be so careful. You don't want to do any of this, none of that. Okay. We just want to keep it smiley. And you could probably bite your lip a little bit, like just a little bit. Don't overdo it.
I actually do all the time. Even when I was doing that, I was actually biting my lip a lot.
Exactly. It's like, right? So a little bit. Okay. Now position. I'm going to tell you something I did in a club many years ago. Okay. So my friend and I decided we're going to go to the club, and there's this guy and he was giving her the, okay. And I, but the thing is, he was playing my friend and I. It's so funny. It's another story for another day. But anyway, because my friend was behind me and we both thought he was looking at both of us, but because I'm the one with game, I didn't know he was doing it to both of us, but I got gay. Okay. So so what I did was, he was by the bar and we were kind of like in a loungy area, and he'd really been doing the eye thing. And so basically after a while I was like, we are not getting anywhere because this boy ain't coming over. Okay. But maybe because he was looking at one of us and both of us thought he was looking at us, so he probably thought, I am not about to go there and create a mess. Drama. But I didn't know that he was looking at both, because I genuinely felt that he was looking at me, not because I'm arrogant, but that's how I felt, because I didn't see what else. But my friend was convinced he was looking at her. So that another thing is, don't go man hunting. I don't really like it, but let's call it that for now. Don't go out with just one friend. Go with two extra, because it creates a dynamic.
Go alone.
Ideally go alone, but even if you're shy, take two girlfriends, married ones if you can help it, or girlfriends who are like Unique and myself, like we're like each other's wing women, right? And we understand dynamics, so we're like, he's looking at you, girl, like over there, keep moving over there, just step forward. So and those friends are quite rare, to be honest, but let's say just take married girls, or take the great wing women, because they're trying to live vicariously through your life anyway. So or go with a couple, they're great wing people. But anyway, I just changed position. I literally went and stood right next to him on the bar and ignored him. So I just put it as if he was like literally standing here and I was standing here. And I just went to the bar and I would signal the waiter. And then he kind of hit me with his hips. And I turned around and I laughed. And that was the
end of that.
Okay. But the point I'm making here is just positioning differently. Now, when it comes to who speaks, the feminine never speaks, because that's left lobe. Okay. So let me just be clear. Masculine energy is left lobe. Feminine energy is right lobe. Okay, that's the creative, and the left lobe is the doing, the logical brain,
logic,
that structure. Yeah. So the masculine speaks first because it's left lobe activity. Okay, so always let him speak first. I don't care if you touch him first. I don't care if you bump him first. I don't care. Keep your mouth shut. Okay, let him start the conversation. Let him initiate, because that's how he feels he hunted you, even though you already did 80% of the work, baby. Okay, that's what gives him the sense of, and I said to her hi, right? He wants to feel like he made that move. So again, close the gap, position yourself really close to him, because we want to eliminate anything that might make it too hard. Okay, we don't want the whole room. He's thinking, if I cross this whole room and I'm wrong, and every other guy who likes us sees I'm wrong, then I'm gonna be the loser. Now you're gonna get your alphas, You're going to get your alpha males who are about the hunt, and they don't care, they're coming through. But we can also confuse them with the players, because the players and the alphas can move the same way. Players don't mind a bit of shame because that's their game, right? So a player, the best way to know a player is if you didn't signal him and he came anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Players will come without a signal. Gentlemen need a signal. Otherwise, they will not come. Okay. This is why some of us are walking out with no dates. We're going into rooms with beautiful men and we're coming out with no dates because we didn't signal the guy. So never ever speak unless we're using another way of signaling, which if Coach Uni doesn't touch it, I will touch on it. So what else are we adding to this?
So we've done the positioning, the presentation, and also read the room. Please read the room. Yes, you've read the room, you've seen the guy is noticing you and is looking at you. Please also watch out for who is around him. Because we've had situations where someone is signaling and the guy is married and sitting next to his wife. So don't be, please. Read the room, people. Watch your surroundings. Be cognizant of where you are. And
absolutely.
Remember, and that energy, always remember, in the energy of you're not hunting, you're just here to have fun. As long as you have that at the back of your mind, you will not come across as a hunter. And you allow him to hunt. So please read the room, and make sure, like,
and again, that's a good point, because if a man doesn't approach you when you've sent that powerful signal, usually he's taken or he's not interested. But the beautiful thing about operating from the feminine is if he's not interested, there's no humiliation for you. You didn't have to cross the room. He just signaled him and he didn't come. So you turn your attention to candidate number 2, right? You signal him, and if he comes, then because if men are taken or in the room with their wives, or they're gay and they're not into straight chicks, okay, they won't come, right? Well, the gay guys might come for a bit of fun, but generally they're not going to come because they're not interested. So don't always internalize a man not responding to your signal as you not being great at signaling. Okay. It's just that there's a reason he's not coming. He's probably with his partner. And again, be wise, be conscious. The thing is with conscious dating is you've got to walk into the room and see the dynamics, like Coach Unique is saying. Take your time, circle the room, watch people, be patient. Feminine energy is patient. It's not about walking into the room, attracting the guy, going home, right? It's about savor the moment. Go into every room, look at the paintings if it's a house. Enjoy the moment, and then just look, right? See if somebody's with a partner. Give it enough time. Don't just go in there because she may have gone to the loo, right? She may be around. So read the room, be smart about it. Don't kind of just jump in there. But what if, look, I've crossed the room, I've come close, I've positioned, I've signaled, and this man is just not moving. How can I escalate that?
This is where you drop a hanky. You need to have something on you that will drop you. Back in the days, you drop a book. Back in the day, have something with you. Drop something. And if you're bold enough, this one trick that I actually learned, if he's standing by the bar, it's okay to ask him, do you mind holding my jacket while I go into the bathroom? And it's okay. Just make sure there are no valuables in there. That you could ask a favor of him. Just, do you mind doing this for me while I do that? Do you mind just signaling the waiter for me, because I don't think he can, my voice is loud enough. Oh, thank you so much. And that's contact. You're not asking him for his number, you're just making conversation. And I think sometimes sometimes we don't talk about online enough as well, because you can still signal online in that way by the questions you ask. the conversations you have. Remember, you're here to explore and have fun. You're not necessarily hunting for anyone. You're just having fun and exploring. And when you come with that mindset, then you're able to say, oh, do you mind just holding this for me while I get a drink? Did you see where the bathrooms are? General questions about the place. And then that way, like Chengi said, you went up to the bar and asked for it, like literally right close to him, ignored him, went about your business. Then he made the signal to come and bump your hip. Then the conversation started. He got you laughing. It's keep it light, because the thing is, it's scary enough, one, being a man in this particular century, where there's all of things that you could be accused of. And I've heard of men being told off for opening a door for them, and being told off for like silly things like that. Like the guy's just being a gentleman, just opening a door, and women have a go at him. So men are very careful, and they don't want to assume just because you signaled that is what, because again, you might have just been drunk. You might have had a bit too much to drink, and you've been happy. You didn't intend to signal him. So it's little things like that that you have to be mindful of, that as much as the man might want to approach, he just might not have had good enough experiences to give him that green light. So sometimes you do need to do that extra and ask a question. Have you seen? I mean, don't ask, okay, where's the bathroom? And you can see it's sitting, it's right there. Come up with another question. Things like that. It's okay. And remember, this is not you making a first move or starting a conversation first. You're having a conversation in general, not directed at the person. You're not saying, hello, my name is.
Yeah.
I would like you to take me out. Yeah. Or I'd like to take you up. Hi, would you like us to go to a quieter place so we can have a conversation? No, you're just saying, oh, can you just hold my bag for me while I go to the bathroom? Okay, not bag. You hold my jacket for me while I go to the bathroom.
If I do a runner.
No, exactly. And the thing is, you know what? And I think sometimes I've done a few of these things just to test things out and see how it goes. And the things, you don't have to be in a bar. I was in the tube when I signaled this guy, and I during my single days, I signal. Actually, no, I'm single. What am I talking about? I'm still single.
Yeah. By the way,
wherever you go, if you meet someone like you actually think, interesting, it's okay to signal and practice signaling, and it doesn't have to be at a bar. The truth is, it's raining men everywhere. Rain doesn't just
only everywhere. I mean, look, once you do that well and you fix your energy, because I talk about it in that Flooding Day.
Yes, that's another thing as well, isn't it? Yeah,
energy can signal too. You know, I stopped walking because I got fed up of men stopping their cars to talk to me, because I felt like, you know, I mean, it's wonderful, but I would just turn it on and turn it off, because once you're in your feminine energy and you get into your body and you get into your feelings and you get into how you feel, even the way your body moves, it's just inviting. There's something so sexy about it. So that's in the Flood and Date Masterclass. So there are ways of even signaling a man energetically, and you can do that too online. Yes. So Coach Unique is going to tell us how to do that online, how she does it online. I do it online too, but that's advanced. So you want to join the Black Swan Nation, Swan Nation, where we shall be discussing it in the new term. The new term starts in May. So join the Black Swan Nation. Links are Coach Nadine is
will be. Yes, she's in the comments. Yeah.
And we'll also make sure it's in the description of this video if you're watching the replay. Yeah. But again, we can go more into depth with things like how to use your energy, how to use your thoughts and your heart to actually attract. And the more advanced you become with these things, like the last time I signaled a man with my eyes was a while ago.
Like, and it's like everything, right? It's like everything. You kind of start off consciously doing it, and then it becomes part of who you are, and then eventually it's just part of your energetic read. Yes. It's like when I am single and I walk into a room, I'm going to get approached. When I come online, I am going to be asked out on a date in the first week. And that is
how it is.
How it is. But there was a time when I would be online and it would be tumbleweed, and I wouldn't hear anything, I wouldn't see anything. But again, it's an energetic thing, and energy you can read it from anywhere. It's a connection with self. So most of the time, most feminine women, when we're doing all of these things, we're all in our head, we're in our masculine, because you have to think about it. It's not something you're doing from your heart. And then it sinks into your heart, and you do it from your heart because you're enjoying it, you're loving it. It's part of the system and what you have to do. And then it goes into your spirit. And that is where your energy really is.
The real
Energy, spirit, that is where there is real stuff, the real essence of who you are. And for you to get to that place, you have to be fully connected. So you have to be connected, mind, body, and spirit. All three have to be connected. You have to be walking in the same body at the same time. Because sometimes we'll leave our spirit over there on Sunday, and then we leave our brain over there at work, and they're all working in different places, and we kind of switch spaces. When you're fully connected to who you are, this is where now, even entering a room, and this is where you start dating men who won't even need to be signaled. Your energy has already come before you. It's like that scripture and the verse, your gifts will present you before great men. Your gifts will speak for you. Mastering your energy is a gift. Mastering your essence is a gift, because that is the gift that keeps on giving. When you master that part of you, there's so, like I was saying, when you go online, I know I keep going on about so it kind of go back to when you go online, when you have that energy of, I am feminine, I am awesome, I am this attractive human being, and I'm here to literally enjoy this experience that I'm going to have. I'm going to meet amazing men. It's all the affirmations that you put in that have now become part of who you are, because affirmations, again, start from here into your heart, into your spirit. It has now become who you are. So even with that, energetically, so I'll give you something that I do. When I know I'm going to be online dating, it's literally, I have to get myself into that headspace. You have to imagine yourself as the woman that you want to be with this man that you want to meet. You have to become that woman that you want to be with this man that you want to get married to, that you want to have this 3.0 children with the picket fence and the dog and everything. What does that woman do on a daily basis? Today, I'm going to get my nails done. Embody that person, embody that woman, embody who you want to be. And from that space, that is where you go online dating. That is where, because you're able to then enjoy it. You know, there's something about dating from a space of lack that draws in more lack than when you're coming in from a space of abundance, when you already believe that you're that woman who has attracted that amazing man. Therefore, you are not desperate to talk to anybody and anything online. So I guess that's the first thing, is realizing that you have to come from that space of abundance. And we always keep saying it's raining men out here, and it literally is. There is men at every corner. And when you get to that energetic level, like I sometimes take walks. At some point, it just got to a point where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to walk at a certain time of the evening, because when men are coming from work and I keep getting stopped, can I have your number? It's okay. I'll walk before 4.
Coach Unique is always like, I've got another number. I mean, this is the black swan life. To be honest with you, you can defend your position as much as you like, but the rest of us are out here winning. Like, it's that simple. Like, some of us have to actually lock ourselves indoors so that we don't get bothered, right? So if you want that black swan life, if you want
the thing is, you don't even do that. You'll get them in the DMs as well.
Exactly. You know, they're all up in your DMs, okay? But this is really not being braggy. It's realizing that it's the feminine energy, and it's not the stuff that they're selling out there. In the world out there, they're trying to tell you behave like a man, act like a man, and get what and get what a woman gets. It doesn't work that way, right? And it sounds nice because everybody's trying to break the norm so that they can go viral, or so that they can be the new voice on the planet. Like, for me, these are ancient ways. Women who would cover their heads and didn't even get to present, still knew how to signal with their eyes. They still knew how to choose that man. Don't even get it.
Position. And talking of positioning, did we not, like, I think you've mentioned it before, when it comes to Naomi, when Naomi sent Ruth, go and position yourself this way. it was always one of those things. Like back in the day, they were not dressing half as, as we
No.
do. It was very, very modest. So they had to signal somehow. They had to be taught how to position yourself in this way so that he will notice that, no, your intention is not to become my servant, but rather my woman.
Exactly.
Because some
Women
of us end up positioning ourselves to be the friend.
Yes. Or the guy who they're going to dispose of tomorrow. And then we're hankering and chasing. The amount of calls I get of, he doesn't do very much for me, but I pay for his cab and I pay for his dinner and I pay for his rent and I'm the one that kind of, had to make the move. Why? Because we're out here in these SWAN streets, not making any move on anybody. Like the job of the woman is to select and look and think, okay, I like you, I like you, I like you, I'll explore you. And anyone that tells you different is trying to disempower you. Anyone that tells you different is trying to take your power away. And who are the people that are going to take your power away? It's going to be feminine men who don't want to make an effort, who want to take your position as the feminine. It's going to be angry women, okay, who don't get attention, who don't have the feminine arts and the natural skills of seduction. And when we use the word seduction, we're not talking about Luciferian seduction, okay? We're talking about seduction as God intended it, which is
that drawing to you,
in to magnetize, to bring to you what you desire. If you don't know how to do that with men, you probably don't even know how to do it with your money. You probably don't even know how to do it with your life, right? You're just taking whatever life brings your way. This for me is the most powerful thing, to have multiple options and you choose the best for you. That is power, not chasing things, right? So with a lot of the sort of confusion going on in the world of, don't listen to anyone that tells you have to leave your feminine to win in life, right? You have to leave your feminine when it comes to money. You have to leave even then you can stay in your feminine. That's another video on another time. But there's some things in life when we're being active, we need to leave our feminine. But when we're looking at creating relationships, which is the area of our expertise, women are naturally born with relationships as a priority. Men are born with stuff as a priority. So we're already winning intuitively and biologically. And the key here is to realize that your power, even everything we've shared today, that's effort.
Yeah.
Is it's still doing something by being something, right? It's not this kind of, I'm just going to leave it to whoever wants to walk up to me and talk to you. You're still doing something. There's so many things we've given you to do. Why does it have to be you crossing the room, buying the drinks, acting like the man, and then expecting that man to cherish you? It will not work, right? So, and I feel that we've established this. Now, online, just real quick before I end, we can signal men online by liking their picture.
Yes.
By liking
a comment.
We can actually speak by, but when you're speaking, you're not going to say, hey, handsome. You don't do that. You're not going to say, you're going to comment on what he said. So if it's on Hinge and he says, the last thing I want to do before I die is, have all the ice cream in the world. It's ridiculous, but I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. And
so would I. Right.
And you can even go as far as saying, oh my God, I would so be into sourdough. Cookie,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, or whatever the flavor is, like vanilla, and wink and make it funny. So you can signal a man. The issue is when you do need to talk, because there's times when we're signaling that we need to talk. Don't refer to anything pertaining to what possibly can be a dynamic between you.
Yeah.
Just speak to him as if you were speaking to anybody in any room at any time. And then let him be the one to say, oh, hello, hi, I'm John, I'm Simon, what's your name? And, well, the more advanced stuff, ladies, we're going to save that for the Black Swan Nation, because we've got more advanced
there's
stuff.
Also the app as well, because recently we put up a few posts as well, because it's not just online as in dating apps, there's also Instagram signaling. There's so many. We live in a digital space now. If you want to be like, if you want to have your options increased, if you actually want to start having options,
want to be out here,
just download the app.
Okay, so what we want to do is download the app. We'll have more of these conversations, and the Black Swan Nation will operate from the app, hopefully in May. So everything will be happening on the Black Swan Relationship app. Download the Black Swan Relationship app. Everybody be on it. We'll be going there to do lives at the moment. The app is still very much in development. We're still growing it in many different ways. So do be one of the first ones. Let's have these conversations. But they are, what we've taught you is primary level attraction. Okay, attraction is it's a whole freaking degree. Okay. So we've got courses as well on the website. You can do Mastering Attraction, Flirt and Date Masterclass. Dating Playbook is an essential for every single Black Swan. Dating Playbook is your best friend. Okay. So you want to get those if we're talking about attraction, but these are higher levels, and we can teach you on the app. We can teach you through the Black Swan Nation how to actually escalate this, because when he does talk, there's certain things that you need to know to build that attraction with him. The things you need to do to build
things that you need to not do,
things that you don't need to do. You know, there's so much we can talk about when it comes to building attraction in that moment that keeps a man coming back for more, you know, and puts you, you know, when I was a doormat, I was out here chasing men, not walking across the room, but just doing chasey things. And now I'm out here like managing attention. Now, Jesus be getting in my way because he'd be like, I need to do this for you. I'm like, I can do it, Lord.
And that's the thing as well. It's like, and like you're saying, it's not that we're bragging. It's just fortunately, when you possess a certain energy, a certain light, people are going to want to talk to you, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's just now understanding that you also have to be led by the Spirit. That like even when you're selecting, you have to be led by the Spirit. You cannot just select anyone and anyhow. It also has to do with your purpose. And when you understand the essence of who you are as a Black Swan, you also you're accountable to purpose. We're not just out here just telling you to signal anyone and everything. You know, you are accountable to your purpose. Your purpose played a bigger role. And the fact that it's the whole thing of legacy, and I've spoken about this so many times, is you have to be mindful. It's nice to have the attention, it's great. But at the same time, may it be the appropriate attention.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So, you know, we are obviously women of God. We've been playful and playing with you because even women of God, the sexy. Come on now. Okay, but you know, there's always an undercurrent of I know who I am, I know my purpose, I know my assignment, and I cannot just link up with the person who I think is sexy or sweet or nice or kind. So for us, we are committed to our purpose, as you should be, and we select through the sieve of what God is doing in our lives. And if that person is going to be an asset to the purpose, and if that person is going to support and give birth to the purpose. So all of those things that, again, higher levels of consideration, but the skill set must be mastered, because mastery is key in every area of life. You must master how to be feminine. You must master feminine mastery. That's another one you can do. Master your femininity, master attraction, be a master of things, so that when you are doing something, when you're restraining yourself, it's not because you can't, it's because you understand something. So, you know, I always say, look, you're not fasting if there's no food in your cupboard. You're just hungry and starving. Okay.
Exactly.
You're fasting when the fridge is full,
and the famine,
and you are restraining yourself. You are not, you know, celibate if there's no one knocking on your door. You know, you're celibate when there are men knocking on your door and they want to sleep with you and they're sleepable with. Okay. Not just funny ones. They're like sleepable with. You want to.
It's actually ones that you actually would like to sleep with as well.
Exactly. Then you're celibate. That's when you are celibate. So in the same way, if we're saying I'm waiting for God to give me the green flag on who my husband is and who I should entertain, it's not because we can't get a man, right? And that should be the truth for all of you. It shouldn't be, I can't get attention. Nobody looks at me when I walk into the room. When I go online, I come out with only the weird ones. Like, that's not the experience of the Black Swan. We don't come out with the weird ones online. We don't come out with the weird ones in real life. So when we are restraining, it's really because we are more aligned with purpose and divine destiny. Okay. So it's really important. Now, somebody's asked, how do I get the dating playbook? You get that at blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. If you download the app, in the app, you'll see shop and it will take you to the academy as well. So if you go to blackswanrelationshipacademy.com, and then if you go to academy, there's going to be a drop down button. There's going to be academy, and all of the courses are going to come up, and you can enroll in the ones that you want. Thank you for asking. And I think Coach Nadine has also put it in chat, but for those watching the replay, yes. Great. Fantastic. So all of the resources that you need are available for you at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. So dating playbook it should be the toolkit in every single. You are not even a Black Swan if you don't know the dating playbook, because you don't know what you're doing out here. You're not moving like a Black Swan, okay? What is the name of the app? It's called the Black Swan Relationship Academy, Black Swan Relationships, and it's on Google Play and Apple. Black Swan Relationships.
But if you just on Google Play, right? And
Google Play and Apple Store.
And Apple, yeah. I'm just going through the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think and act like that. I just need to put myself in a position of receiver, like smiling more and making myself more comfortable to approach me. I think that we actually skipped out on that about our resting faces. You all need to practice what you look like when you're resting in the mirror. You know what we call it, right? Your resting bee face.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something that actually sometimes I'll be out here just doing research just for the random fact, because I can. I'm a Black Swan coach and I can. So I remember asking the guy who once, when I was walking down the road and he asked me for a drink, ended up going on 3 dates. I remember on the 3rd date asking him, why did you actually approach me? And he said, I thought you looked at me and you were smiling at me. And I was like, oh, okay. Kind of retrace my steps. So basically, I just got out of the bus. I put my earplugs in. They're not proper earphones, so they're little ones that I can put. It's another thing I'd always advise. If you're going to be listening to music and you still want to remain approachable, get those little earphones that you put in your AirPods that you can hide with your hair, so that if someone does approach you, because little things like that, especially when you're in the gym as well, when you have your earphones on, when you're looking at your phone, when you're carrying iPad, people assume that you're busy, you're not approachable. So all I did was I put my earplugs in and I walked out and I was just listening to some music. I was like, I just need to listen to something that's resting, peaceful, restful, and just easy. I think I was listening to Lionel Richie or something, like easy like Sunday morning. And what that did, I allowed this music to literally just sink into me. I was like, yeah, it is easy. It was a Monday, but yeah, it's easy like Sunday morning. And what that does to your face, it lightens and brightens your face and brings life into your face. Because I stopped thinking about the day ahead. I stopped thinking about the admin things I had to do. I stopped thinking about, I need to go and do this. I need to go and get some paint. It stopped doing all of that. It's like I got out of my mind and into my heart and enjoyed the moment for what it was. It was a lovely evening. So what he saw was just me relaxing into the music. I didn't even see him. All I was doing was just walking, and that is what made me look approachable, because the smile, it was more like a smile, like it was more like a,
your energy was open.
Relaxing more, and my energy was open. I was relaxing more. Like right now, my eyebrows are kind of focused in because I'm talking. But if I had to sit back, breathe in a little bit and relax, your face relaxes as well. And that is what makes you approachable. You are more open. And I think that's another thing that we forgot, is you can position yourself as much as you like, but if you don't look approachable, no one's going to approach you. Exactly. Including online, because your body carries this amazing energy. Yeah. But if your body and your energy and your spirit are not aligned, as in it's not resting into this energy, it's not resting into this peace, that is what is going to be seen and translated. And because we are seen first before we are heard, you need to make sure that your presentation also encompasses that. Because, like you're saying, if you're presenting, if you've done all of these things and still not, the people are not approaching you, it could just be that you're not making yourself approachable. And there is definitely an art to that. Flirt and Date Masterclass as well. Joining the Black Swan Nation, because we can do a little bit more practicals.
Yes, Black Swan Nation kind of feels a little bit like this, to be honest, but obviously your questions in real life and really supporting you and really giving you what's specific to you and to the group, and it's fantastic, and the girls in there are fantastic. It's all fantastic, everything's fantastic. But absolutely, we don't want to stay here too long, because we could give you like so much. We would be here for 10 hours if we could, giving you all of the good stuff, but I think we can leave it here now. We've really given you a game to go and win this spring. Just check yourself before you wreck yourself. Don't do anything they tell you to do. If it's not Black Swan, if it's not feminine, we're not about it. So absolutely go off to the nice weather, if wherever you are in some parts of the world and winter right now, but put on your cozies and smile. And let us know, let us know on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Let us know on the app. Let us know the app. I did it. It's working. I've got 4 dates planned. That's the life of the Black Swan. Always abundance, never scarcity.
Amen.
So, Coach Unique, any final words before we say goodbye?
Final words, and just remember, this applies to any platform, social media, YouTube, anywhere, literally anywhere. It's not just meeting people in person. So definitely, like, look, we've just finished the sale. Definitely book a call, talk to one of us, because it's in the opening up that you will be able to get help. If you can't book a call, join Black Swan Nation. Even if you don't come on the calls, you've got more than enough content to look through. How long have we been doing Swan Nation? 2 years now?
Yes, there's tons of videos.
So much content. Yeah, there's tons and tons and tons of information for you to be able to go through, like way back. When we do examples, there's so many resources available for you. You are only as good as the knowledge that you're applying to your life. So get you some knowledge, get you into the Black Swan Relationship Academy, get you into Swan Nation, and let's become practical about applying the knowledge that we already have, because it's literally at the fingertips.
Fantastic. And that's all we have to say. Thank you so much for joining us. The lives are always fantastic. Thank you for chit-chatting. See you on the app. See you in the universe of the Black Swans, where we're out here winning. And we will see you again on our next live.
Bye.